everyone, and welcome back to another video. I know it doesn't feel like it to you all, but it has been such a long time since I have filmed anything, and I feel kind of out of practice a little bit. So I wanted to kind of jump back in by doing something a little bit easier mode, but also still super cute. I was very inspired after scrolling through TikTok, because who isn't these days? And I saw this really awesome sweater where instead of filling in with a satin stitch, it was filled in with a bunch of lazy daisy flower stitches. So I really wanted to create a little bit of Harry Potter merch, bought a lot of like plain t-shirts and like blanks because I keep having all these ideas for how I want to fill them and I haven't done any of them yet. So that is what we are doing today. So this is kind of what I've decided on. Now, part of me really wanted to only do like pastels and light colors here, just to kind of offset the darkness of the back, but then I thought about it and then, gosh, do I want to do pastels? None of the colors are like exactly what I want. You know what, I'm doing this. Because the letters are tinier, I'm going to need to do this in 2 sets of 3, I think, just to make sure that the flowers don't get too bulky and large. So I'm going to separate into 3 and 3, and then split all the way down the middle of a piece that is about the length of my arm. Can't really see, but it is about the length of my arm. And I think I'm just going to make a handful of these like sets so that I can just kind of add and go. I'm going to hyperlapse through that, and then I'm going to come back to show you the stitch and how I'm going to start layering them. Let's do that. Well, I am closing in on an hour on just this one letter, so I'm starting to think that this sweatshirt is going to take me way more than just today to finish, which I think I'm okay with. That's fine, I'm fine. But I do want to get like the meat of this video out of the way as I'm filming it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to create the Lazy Daisy stitch, and then show you kind of a little bit in this larger example, kind of how I've structured these things together and how I am layering them on top of each other just to make sure it's as informational as possible, and so maybe I can do all of this stitching in maybe a bit more comfortable of an environment and not completely on camera. Alright, all zoomed in. So as you can see here, everything has to have its own color, and it is starting to kind of create that R shape. I think that this petal kind of went a little too far into my open space here, and that's kind of the rough part about this, is it is a little bit more abstractly filled, and you are going to need at least some guidelines on where to start and stop your flowers. So I'm trying to stop all of my petals right kind of at the edge. Here is the basics of the stitch, and I have done a video in some a little bit more detail on this, and I can link that right in the top corner for you and your benefit, but you're basically going to want to come up from the back through the middle, and this is going to become the center of your flower. Now there's a couple different ways that you can create your petals. First things first, you're going to go right back down to the area you just came out of, slightly off to one side, even in the same hole doesn't particularly matter. Now, one way to do it is to kind of create your stitch from there. So I've gone in, and then I'm going to bring it right back up to where about I think I want that petal to end. And I'm going to start pushing it through. Before I push it all the way through, I'm going to grab this, making sure that it's going to lay flat, because sometimes if you twist it this way, then it's going to form like a twist in the loop. You're going to want to twist it around this way so that it lays flat, and wrap it around so here you can see when you pull, it's going to form this loop. So I'm going to do that, I'm going to pull completely, and I have my loop formed. Now to make sure that it stays, you're going to tack just on the other side of that loop end that you made, stick all the way through to the back, and pull. And that's that. That is the very basic form of this stitch. You're just going to repeat this 5 to 6 times depending. A lot of mine have 5, some of them have 6 depending on what I think looks better, and honestly I think I might start being okay with dropping down to 4. I think you can see this one only has 4 visible ones, but it does make everything line up a lot nicer. Basically you're going to continue, going to go up through the middle in approximately the same area that you just left from, back up to the middle, and back down through the middle, And here is the second way to do things if you want to kind of lay things out and see them a little more clearly. So you're going to stick all the way down, but hold your string. Don't let it go all the way through. So here you're able to kind of see very specifically how it's going to lay, how your petal is going to lay. You're going to poke your needle up in and you're going to stick it right through that loop. So before it goes anywhere, pull through, tighten, and then tack down on the other side. It is the same thing over and over again, so this is a very easy project. It's just very clearly a time-consuming project. This is actually where I'm going to kind of knock off my stitching for today. Once I get closer to the last couple stitches, I'm probably going to come back and do those on camera and then show you how I will finish off the design. So with all that said, and with my final petal done on this flower, I'm going to show you how to finish off. I'm going to go all the way on the back, push through, flip over, and you're just going to tie a knot. Normally what I like to do is I like to go under the last stitch. You can see a loop is formed here, and then I'm going to go through that loop again and tie off into a nice little knot. Snip relatively close, and there you have it. It's time to switch colors. Alright, here for the final stitch. I did take my hoop off already just because I was kind of trying to tidy things up, but you can see I've got some other letters together and I'll do a full reveal once I get through this final stitch. So as you can see, I have spent a lot of time getting right up to the end of this W here. I started this project for you guys on camera yesterday at around 12:30. For reference, it is now the next day at 1:15 and I have not stopped doing this. To be fair, I did sleep and I did eat a little bit, but for the most part, all I've been doing in my spare time has been this. So this has been several hours of this project that I have been working on. That was 3 loops and that took me about 2 minutes. So what that's saying to me is about 1 flower will take like 3 minutes, and I'm afraid to like do the math on all this. All right, I think it's time for the big reveal. Who's ready for it? As you can see, all the letters are done and they're relatively straight, which I was really worried about. What do you think? It is so imperfect, and that's kind of the risk I take whenever I try to write words, because I want them to be straight. Thankfully, I think the top looks relatively straight. It's the bottom that's a little bit bumpy, I think. I wish I would have made the letters bigger if I thought I wasn't going to do this down here and add like this color in. Is that even the color I like? I can't even decide. But maybe I'll add like a Whit Beyond Measure at the bottom. Maybe in white. To save myself the drama, I will just use my Cricut and cut out some script font at the bottom and call it a day, and just put, you know what, I'm doing it. Alright, she's been ironed, she's cool to the touch. Let's do this. I love peeling. That's so satisfying. Wow! I'm happy now. I was going through a casual moment of stress there, thinking it did not look good, but now that I'm here, I think it looks pretty good. Holy cow, talk about a labor of love. I mean, I knew I wanted this and it turned out so good. I mean, I was going back and forth. I knew I bought this specifically so that it could be like a Ravenclaw-esque Harry Potter kind of vibe shirt. And while this isn't like perfectly bronzed or perfectly, you know, 100% Ravenclaw colors, at one point my fiance even asked me if this was pink and why I put pink in there. But I am pleased with the way that it came out, and I'm so excited to wear it. If I was not so absolutely exhausted, I probably would try it on, but I'll be sure to insert some pictures of me wearing it, or use them for the thumbnail or something. But Gosh, I am so glad that this is over, and I am so happy with the result, and I hope that you guys are too and feel inspired to create something that you have been putting off for a long time as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, feel free to like and subscribe. I put out new videos every Sunday at noon Eastern Standard Time, and I would love for you to be here for the next one. Thanks again so much, and I hope to see you then. Bye!